Well, welcome fans and foes, viewers and haters. I'm your cinema simpleton because these days even Hollywood can't fool an idiot. This is a review that I really didn't think was ever going to get posted because I didn't think I was actually going to see the movie. And the reason I didn't think I was going to go see the movie was because budget. Because I've been realizing I've been spending a lot more than I should lately. And two, because when it comes to Jackass, it's one of those movies that you really gotta say, how do you really review something like this? This is one of those things. What do you really classify it as? Do you classify it as a documentary? Do you classify it as a comedy? Do you classify it as a bunch of guys probably drunk and high, doing like the most craziest stuff you could ever think of? So yeah, that was where the problem came with Jackass, because I've seen that there are reviews on the first two movies, both of which I have seen. I actually own the first one. I just was watching it with a couple of friends about a week ago, mostly for like a guys' night kind of thing. But yeah, there's a lot to the Jackass stuff that really kind of puts a question in my mind. How do you really do a review on this? And, cover all the bases that people would want to know, but at the same time, not stating the obvious. Like, as a critic, even as an amateur critic, I find, like, I want to be able to say something that the audience doesn't pick up on. I want to be able to review something like this as a form of art, as a form of entertainment. I want to be able to look at it and say, these are the pros, these are the cons, this is why you should or should not see something like this. With Jackass, obviously there's not a lot of structure to something like this. So with this video is kind of as closest as you're ever gonna get from a review of Jackass. Trying to put it in the form of, in the words that I think a film critic would, or at least the best that I can do right now. One thing I can obviously tell you is the stunts. I can tell you a little bit about them without spoiling some of the stuff. I will say that the stunts, compared to the first two movies, the thing that kind of bugged me with this is that it feels like their creativity has gotten a little bit dry. Because there's stuff where they're like, there's little bits of just sketches and stunts that they're putting in here. Which, believe me, they did make me laugh. They were hilarious and they were thought out. But at the same time, there's a couple where you're kind of thinking, if you follow Jackass, that you're like, this doesn't feel that imaginative compared to some other stuff that I've seen in the past two movies. For instance, there was a sketch about a giant hand that was smacking people. And I'm pretty sure in the second movie there was a sketch which was almost done up exactly the same way with a giant boxing glove. And I was thinking, well, yeah, I'm still laughing at this, but where's the creativity here? And when it came to, I guess, there's this one bit like where, if you've seen the second movie, there's a bit where Bam Margera has a big fear of snakes. And they do the exact same thing. Well, not the exact same thing here, but the premise, I guess, if you want to call it that, of the stunt is the exact same result. Like, the guy's getting freaked out about snakes. It's almost nothing different. You could argue that they go a bit further into stuff like that they did in the last two movies. I wouldn't say that they go, for the most part, I wouldn't say that they go as hardcore, but I would, like, compared to like the first movie, because that's the one I've seen the most. But they do obviously put in some, a bigger budget, obviously because of the 3D. They took advantage of that. It's not obvious from the beginning. I knew this was not going to be, a gimmick that sold the movie. Everybody who's going to see Jackass is going to see Jackass for that reason. It could be 3D, it could be IMAX, it could be anything. They're just gonna go see Jackass. They don't give a crap about the 3D, and it really is like something forgettable by the end. Like, I'm just remembering, oh yeah, I've got these glasses on. I forgot. and there's not much on the screen that really caught my eye with the 3D incorporated into the film. But yeah, there is a good number of stuff that does. You can see that their budget has definitely improved with the, you know, 2 movies behind them. But I like the first one mostly because, yes, they had a budget, but there was so many ideas that just really, when brought to life by these guys, there was a lot more passion for it. Not saying that there isn't passion for this stuff here, but there was a lot more, you know, hardcore stuff, and they were really just at the top of their game. Here, it kind of does feel like the closing chapter, which, granted, it probably is, but it really was like, okay, we're kind of just doing this for a last shot. And was it worth it? A good chunk of the stunts were definitely worth it. Music was definitely good. With a lot of these things, the budget with, like, they obviously brought in a bunch of Hollywood stuff. They used slow-mo a lot more, which was very detailed in a lot of these great shots. But other than that, is it something that special? It really does feel like it's a necessary end to the Jackass franchise. So rating, I think I'd be comfortable in probably giving it, gosh, I'd say at the most a 2.5 out of 5. I think that's a good rating to, at the most, 2.5 out of 5. I wouldn't recommend the first thing for you to go check out at the box office this weekend, but you know what? Hey, if you're really just going out for a great time, like in a lot of movie theaters, you want to go see something they haven't seen in a while, or just want to see a bunch of guys, you know, do some gross or crazy crap, all power to you. I wouldn't blame you for it if you went and saw this.